It's time for the second major championship of the year. For the first time in 9 years, the U.S. Open will be heading back to Oakmont. Hello, I'm Teryn Schaefer alongside John Swantek for your 2016 U.S. Open preview.
It's no secret the difficulty that Oakmont presents. Built on farmland just east of Pittsburgh by Henry Fowens to penalize poor shots. It does that. Oakmont has served as the backdrop of a record 9 U.S. Opens, but the course is going to look a little different this time around than it did back in 2007 when Angel Cabrera won, edging Tiger and Jim Furyk, because they've removed about 7,000 trees since then.
Yes, a significant change there in efforts to return the course back to Fowens' original look. But all those bunkers still remain, including the storied church pews that come into play on 3 and 4. The rough will still be thick and menacing, and the greens will be more than fast. Not to mention that 288-yard par 3 8th hole. Oakmont is called the toughest course in America for a reason. Just 23 players have been under par after 72 holes in the 8 previous seasons. The U.S. Open has been held at Oakmont. None did it last time back in 2007.
Yeah, and only 8 rounds during the entire tournament that year managed to come in under par. Take a look at the numbers. Cabrera won it at 5 over, and the average score that year was 75.7. Jordan Spieth has called it the hardest test in all of golf. Rory McIlroy said recently he thinks 3 over par is going to win the U.S. Open.
It kind of makes you wonder how Johnny Miller shot a 63 back in 1973, breaking not just the course record, but tying the Open low score. That's pretty crazy to think about. But you mentioned Spieth and Rory, so let's talk about the big 3 and favorites this week. Spieth, of course, coming off a win just 3 weeks ago at Colonial, and the defending U.S. Open champ at Chambers Bay, looking to turn the discussion away from his Masters finish in the first major of the year. But just 6 defending U.S. Open champs have finished better than 30th in their title defense. Both Day and McIlroy have wins to their name this season already, too.
That's right. Most recently, Rory winning on his home turf at the Irish Open. That was the week after Jason Day hoisted the Players' Championship crystal. All these guys have dominated the last 5 majors. Teryn, take a look. Among the group, one has either won or finished in the top 4. Spieth, the most impressive resume, never finishing below tied for 4th with 2 major championships, 2 second-place finishes.
Now to the fun part. Let's talk picks. We have to go sleepers first.
Okay.
And Swan, since this is my first preview show, I'm going to make you go first.
Okay, I'll
Who's
give
your
it a
sleeper?
shot. He doesn't really qualify as a sleeper because he's 9th in FedEx Cup points, but he's never won before, so I consider Kevin Chappell to be a sleeper. He's outside the top 35 in the world golf rankings. I think he does his best work on really hard courses. 2nd to Jason Day at Bay Hill, 2nd to Jason Day at the Players' Championship, and 3rd at the U.S. Open when McIlroy won at Congressional back in 2011. I think Kevin Chappell's got a chance to make some noise this week. How about you?
I do like that pick. I like that pick a lot, but I'm going to throw 2 sleepers your way.
2 of them, all right.
2 of them. I'm going to go with Matthew Fitzpatrick, the young kid, 21 years old, placed 7th at the Masters this year, coming off a big win at the Nordea Masters on the European Tour, and he's 32 in the official world golf rankings. Okay. But I'm going to go with the older guy, too, Retief Goosen. He's 47 years old, a 2-time winner at that at the U.S. Open, and hey, he has had a top 15 in his last 3 starts here, so pretty impressive. Both would be really cool stories, maybe some long shots, but let's give people our favorites. Who's your big pick this week?
I feel like I'm not going to get points for creativity. I would rather be accurate than clever, but I think Jordan Spieth is the pick. I think sometimes at a U.S. Open, oftentimes in fact, you've got to win ugly, and I think Spieth's driving has been erratic. I feel like he's going to drive it not exceptionally well, but just well enough to hang around for 4 days. And I think his putting is so exceptional. That's where he's going to be identified. That's where he's going to separate from everybody else that's going to find these Oakmont greens just so treacherous to deal with this week. So I think Spieth could go back-to-back. No one's done that since 88 and 89 when Curtis Strange went back-to-back.
That would be fun to watch. You're talking about putting. What about the whole package? My pick is going to be Jason Day. He has just been on fire this season. You know, his last win at the Players' Championship, he's the only one to have 3 wins on tour this season so far, so pretty impressive. And he has finished as the runner-up twice in U.S. Open, so you know he wants it. We'll see how it all plays out this week, and here are your radio and TV times.
Television coverage begins Thursday and Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1, and then flips over to Fox at 5 p.m. Weekend broadcasts will take place beginning at 11 a.m. Eastern on Fox.
Coverage will begin on Sirius XM Radio each day of the tournament at noon Eastern Time. That's on Sirius channel number 208 and XM channel 92.